Haven't entered back. It's Pride weekend. Yes, the mask must come off. I just went to the dance. Thank you so much, Brett, also supplying these fabulous beats for our performers. Thank you so much. The hidden talents behind DIVA or Die. But I just went to the dentist, and I mentioned it because it was my first time hearing the dentist tell the assistant that's with him as he's examining each tooth. He's like, oh, and I also see a 30% overbite. I was like, 30% overbite? Is it time to update my dating profile? Kristen mingle awaits. But then the last thing he told me was like, all right, so now just stick out your tongue and say ah. And I was like, ah. He was like, all right, tongue and throat look great. I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely going to update that dating profile now. Everybody say ah. But it is so great to be here at DIVA or Die Cabaret at the fabulous Exit Theater in San Francisco. Thank you all so much, really, and no joke, for coming out. People thank me for coming out, you know, so I'm like, hey, why not pay it forward? Backward, happy Pride. It's always such a pleasure, you know, specifically being the stand-up comic, you get a judge, in a burlesque show because, you know, I always know, of course, I'm going to be the most underdressed, but, you know, in an attempt to be in alignment with your fabulous performers tonight, you know, I did kind of ump it up with this nice sparkle and top here, so it's just a little something, you know. And the most fabulous thing is that it's not my only sparkly top. The other one is named Carlos, and he's waiting for me back at home in San Mateo after the show. So I'm not sure how it'll go here, but I'm definitely killing it when I get home tonight. So thank you so much. Hopefully, be making it rain some Georges also. I think you might join us. Check my text messages after this. And also with the, you know, being in the burlesque show, of course we have our fabulous stage kittens here that they've been introduced already, including Bodacious Bumpkin, you saw also, in addition to Suprema de la Rouge. And I get a little nervous though, because I know the stage kittens, at least in my experience performing in burlesque shows, they're always so professional, even though it's just myself and the microphone, they ask me like, oh, Jesus, you know, by the way, after your stand-up comedy set, do you need anything picked up? And I'm just like, just my dignity, I guess. It's really heavy though, so you know, it is too much for you. Just leave it there. And any booze that you can fit into your arms as well. Now that we're returning to in-person events, I would have the pleasure of being a part of a comedy fundraiser for someone that's running for political office. And I was very flattered, of course, but a little surprised too, because you know, I don't think my content is very political. You know, just to give you perspective, I, for a while, thought that the Oval Office is where they made Ovaltine. Until yesterday. But, you know, it was, this person is specifically running for California Assembly. So when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, cool, Assembly. I've been to one of those in elementary school. This is going to be nostalgic and fun. It got me thinking, though, that in my lifetime so far, you know, I've only seen in its entirety one political film, and at that it was a gay porn film. It's called Dictators. It's really good. Very exciting. You know, every new scene, I was like, oh my God, what comes next? I worked part-time at Trader Joe's, and when I first started, that was me at Register 7. You know, while you just stood there and I bagged everything. When I first started, they had to explain to me, management were very nice about it, but they did take me aside and were like, hey, so we just have to clarify the family discount that you know, all crew members get, and of course you as students are very much eligible for their family discount. But at this point, we have counted 5 different older gentlemen that have come to the register and said that they're your daddy. So I just want to explain, because you did tell us that you were raised by a single mother, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Better call 5 other ones and tell them, let them know that there's no discount involved after all. They're over there. Let's see. I think I don't get that. In my vain stand-up comic here, I'm going to check my time basil and cumin. The thirst is real too. 10% off. I think, you know, if my going into a little more serious, if my family would not have been accepting of the real me, I think it sent to something that, tragically actually still exists, something known as gay conversion therapy that, ironically enough, for someone like myself, it would have worked because I would have shown up and turned everybody gay. I was like, oh my God, that was really easy. Give my 5 daddies their money back. And I think that one of the reasons, being that it is Pride weekend, that we have such a thriving LGBTQ+ community right here in the Bay Area specifically, oddly enough, is actually connected to the high cost of living here in the Bay Area, because we have no choice except to come out of the closet because there's been a rent increase, and now that causing us to get to live in the studio. And $5,000 for 20 square feet. There's a wait list, of course, too. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of Act 1 of DIVA or Cabaret.